Good morning to members of the community. I had a talk with one of our members today, and I'm going to try to recap that lesson so that you can all hear it and also share it if you want to with your staff or students. Because, when you learn something that touches you, there's no reason you can't turn around and share it. And I keep that in mind when I'm teaching, that you should be using these things so that your students also have access to this veteran school owner, 45-year master teacher kind of guy. I should be supporting the very things that you're talking to them about if I'm doing my job well. I want to talk about sales and new students and upgrading members and graduating black belts and getting paid better in your school. But I want to cut to the quick of where that work genuinely is done. How to get more students, how to make money, how to learn how to talk about your work, how to get students to eagerly come to you to re-enroll and to pay whatever is ever needed, whatever the school needs. It's never very much from any one person because you spread it out over your student body, but for them to come to you and be enthusiastic about that, and for you not to have come begging or have parents say, I'm not sure after his black belt if he's going to continue. That work, all that work, everything that affects your numbers and your profit margins and your re-enrollments and your renewals and all that stuff is done on the floor of your dojo. It's done this much in every single class, this much in every day that you're a master teacher, from here to the end of your career. You don't go in and try to shock people. This is what's you don't have to do that. I mean, if you have to do it, you do it, but you don't have to because you're working on them. You don't expect them to go from white belt level of skill to green or brown or black in a very short period of time. That's ludicrous. You and I both know that. It's done incrementally over a long period of time, and that's the same way you get to your students' heads. You get to their hearts and you get them to appreciate the value of what they're doing. It's done through your coaching on the mat. You want to increase sales. You want to see people coming in and signing up again. You want to see them bring in your neighbors. You get on that mat and you teach. And you remember what you're doing. Because you're not there to teach them your bullshit martial arts. You're not there to teach them how to kick and punch and grapple. I mean, of course you are. You do the best job you can. But that's not what somebody's going to come back to you 20 years from now and say, I remember that form number 4 and that flying triangle that you taught me. Oh my God, that affected my life. That's not what they're going to say. Your job is to teach them how to be present, how to apply themselves in their lives in the very safe environment of your school. Because, and by the way, they'll never need it in there. It's safe. You can make mistakes. Nobody's going to poke fun at you. When you fall down, you get back up. Nobody's really trying to kill you, right? It's the things you practice on the mat that you apply in your life when the times get tough. You want students who come back to you 20 years later. I've got many of them who've done that, and you probably do too, that say, sir, I don't remember any of the forms. I don't remember any of the, I can't kick above my waist. But you taught me something. You taught me how to measure my enthusiasm and my effort and my investment on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. It made me aware. It made me question. It allowed me to improve. And of all the things that you taught me, that has helped me in every single aspect of my life. You empowered me, and I love you, and I owe you for that. You have to get on the mats in front of all the parents and in your coaching of your students, regardless of the age, and point out to them the value of what they're doing. Now, if you can't articulate it, you better start practicing today. Because if you fail to articulate the real value of what you're imparting on the mat through this practice of your art, then you will fail to build the following, the enthusiasm, the awareness, the cognizance of the value of the work, and you will not send forth martial artists. You will send forth people who know how to do kicks and punches and fight. That's not what the training is about. The training is about learning to apply yourself with vigor and enthusiasm and remarkable perseverance when things don't go well. It's learning how to develop rapport, learning how to fall down and get the heck back up. It's learning how to take things that you hate to do and learning how to cultivate them into things you love to do. It's learning how to block out the distractions and be present. Start on the mats, be present in your practice, learn to apply yourself at level 10, and then, God willing, you'll have better relationships with your children, with your spouse, with your loved ones. You'll be a more effective leader. And when other people quit because it's hard, because there's obstacles, because it's work, through the training you've given them on the mat, they recognize, hey, we haven't even begun to try. This isn't an effort. An effort is 1,000 reps with full focus, with gathering people around you who know how to contribute and not take away. It is a level of perseverance that most people don't have any experience with and won't for years maybe. But you're showing them on the mats, and you're reminding them, and you're pointing out the things that are of value, of learning to be calm under pressure, of learning how to stick to something even when it's hard, to learn how to help others while you help yourself, to learn how to give more than you take. These are the lessons and many more that are taking place on the mats that you can assume your students, your community, and their families, that they know it. You're the one who has to show them and teach them the value of what they do so that they can come up. You should be able to take a microphone, a video, or just ask any student in your school who's been with you for any reasonable period of time, what are you getting from these lessons? And they should give you a deep, touching, chicken skin recap of the value of why they come to the mat, what they get from it, what it means in their life, how it arms them. But where do you think they're going to get that? Just from space? Are you going to psychically impart that to them? You must coach them so that they don't mistake the finger for the moon. Right, Bruce Lee? They think it's one thing, and you're the one who can say, I know you think it's this, but this is what it really is. Get that in your head and your heart and proceed in this fashion, because then, in the future, no, regardless of what you become, doctor, lawyer, engineer, mother, whatever it is, you will remember what you learned on this mat coming from me. You will have realized what the martial arts can do for you. This simple, basic practice, the postures and the struggle and the consistency. If you don't tell them, who's going to tell them? And this is where your sales pitch is done. This is where you get people who don't come into your office and go, no, I don't know, that seems kind of pricey. How much are you raising the tuition? You're changing those people into people that say, I don't know what you need. Just tell me. I'm here. I'm ready. I'll write the check. We love you. We love this school, and what you've done for us we can't compensate for you. So if we're capable, we will pay whatever you need. And my friends, you don't ask that much. But every day that you go by and don't remind your students of why they're there, maybe because you don't even know how to say it yet. Maybe you need to practice that. Maybe you know it in here, but you're not sure how to impart it. Well, becoming a master teacher is learning how to do that work. I mean, you're going to coach them in this way, polish that form, make sure they know how to really fight really well. They're going to grapple. They're going to have all these techniques to get in and out of moves and to submit somebody or to be capable, strong, and confident. Well, you got to do the same for their thinking. You'll lose more students because they don't know what's going on than you will because they can't do the techniques. this is how you make money in your school. All the mechanics of it, you know, 3-lesson intro, 30-day free, paid intros, $95 a month down, it's all getting dressed. It's not what your life is about. You wear nice shoes, you put on your pants, you get dressed. Okay, you know how to get dressed. That's the basics. But what are you going to do in that suit? What are you going to go do in the world that anybody gives a damn about or that makes a difference? It's not getting dressed. Learning how to run the mechanics of your school. Don't get stuck on it. Learn how to make an extraordinary impact in people's lives by being truthful, honest, and arming them for what is yet to come. And you know the worst thing to die from, in my opinion? The worst thing is to die while you're alive. To live days and not appreciate them for the gift that they are. To walk through life like some kind of freaking zombie, never having pursued what you're passionate about or lived with vigor and enthusiasm. And that's what you're working on in the mat when you teach. Don't be a zombie. Be aware, be alive, contribute, participate, move that body, generate health, make a difference in the world, be a freaking change maker. That's the kind of martial arts that lasts a lifetime. That's the essence. Don't wait for them to turn 60 to appreciate what you taught them. Tell them so they have the language, so it's in their head. So when they're weighing the price of your lessons to a new motorbike, that they don't mistake your lessons for something they're not. They're not trivial. They're not supposed to. It's not martial arts light. It's supposed to be some of the most powerful and empowering meditative work that they do. That 45 minutes to an hour and a half they spend on your mat, make it count. Ask more of them. They think they can do this good. You know they can do this good. Ask it. Push, push, push. And whatever you ask for lessons will become unimportant and inconsequential.